What's up guys, welcome back. My name's Loverfella and today I actually want to do a really weird video. Probably a lot of you are not going to like this video, but it's something that I've wanted to do for a long time. I'm going to turn my light up a little bit here. Something I've wanted to do for a while, and I finally decided that today would be a good day to do it because my hand is hurting like crazy and I don't think tonight I'm going to be able to actually play a game with the controller. But you know, the good news is, like, in like a week I think they're like taking this thing down a notch. I'm going to get like a smaller splint, so it might make it a little bit easier, but we'll see how we get there. So today I actually want to talk to you guys about my top 5 favorite books that I've read. So to me, a lot of life is about improving yourself and making yourself better. And if you stop doing that, and if you stop trying to push yourself, you stop setting goals, whether that's personal or professional goals, you're never going to make yourself a better person. Your life gets boring, you fall into a pit of darkness. But today I'm going to go over the 5 books that I've read that to me have like really had a huge impact on my life. They're not really in a particular order, but I've had a lot of people ask me about these because I like talk about them a lot. And what I do, and this is not sponsored in any way, I wish it was, but I actually got an Audible account. I like listen to audiobooks there and like just pay for books. It's a pretty good deal in my opinion, so I do like it, but I'm not sponsored, unfortunately. I wish they paid me for that, but they don't. So I have all my books on here, a lot of good books on here, and I'm just gonna go through a couple of my favorites and like, kind of like how they're important, like what they'll do for you. So the first one, it's really quick. It's called The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins, and I have a whole video on this book in particular. So if you haven't seen that video, I highly recommend you go check that one out. But basically, if you don't want to see that or you don't have time, the gist of it is that the 5-second rule means you have 5 seconds to make a big decision. Every 5 seconds you count, or like every time you have a big decision or any decision, count down from 5, and you can make yourself do anything from getting up to deciding where to eat to deciding what to do for like a career. Like the 5-second rule is life-changing, and definitely check that book out. One of the greatest books I've ever read, and like I recommend that book to every single person, like especially people I meet in real life. Like my friends, talk about that book all the time to them. It's so freaking good. Also, my camera's not on a tripod. It is, but it's not like super still, so it might be like moving. The background might be changing a little bit, but whatever, it doesn't matter. So 5-Second Rule, super good book. The next book is called The Power of Broke. It's by oh, that's a little bit of The Power of Broke. It's by Draymond John. I don't know if you guys can see him in there. He's one of the guys from Shark Tank, or Shark Tank, is that what it's called? One of those like big investors. Basically, he's like an angel investor. He puts millions and millions of dollars into startup companies, takes some kind of equity of that company and makes money. So this book, The Power of Broke, is kind of talking about how when you're at your lowest points in life, it's where you can become your strongest. So when you're broke, you can turn that into your idea that creates you millions of dollars. Or when you're super sad, you can turn that into your, you know, your happiness. Like basically, the gist of this book is that your worst moments are what define you. Your worst moments are when you can push yourself more than you ever could before, because it's either do or die. You either get back up, push yourself, get to a point where you're not gonna fall back down to where you are, or you give up. And you know, you guys probably know people that have given up when they get a hard point. I mean, all of us are gonna be there. If you haven't yet, you will at some point have a day or a moment where you just know this is the lowest point of my life. You know it. You know it'll be the lowest, and your life's gonna feel like it's over. Basically, this book is incredible. It kind of like talks about that. It talks about how those points are the ones that make you turn in to what you can be. They like kind of bring it out of you, and you know, I think it's incredible. I agree with it. So that's a great book by Draymond John. Now, as this is a child-friendly channel, I'm not actually going to say the name of this book here, but I'll hold it up here. Maybe you guys can read it. The Subtle Art of Not Giving Crap. We'll just call it that for now. I gotta keep it child-friendly. So it's a really good book. Basically, one of the things that this book talks about is how not to care. Like a lot of people, including myself, really care what other people think about us. Like for me, that's been a big problem, honestly. Like my whole life, I've really cared what people think. Like if someone thinks my hair looks bad, or if I look bad, or if I sound weird, or whatever it is, it's been a huge thing for me. And really, it was just until recently, within the last 2 or 3 years, where I've finally been like, I don't really care what people think. Like, I think there's like a difference, like a change in my mentality now. I used to be like, oh my gosh, I hope this person likes me, and now I'm like, do I like this person? Like it's kind of like a flop. Like now I'm kind of choosing who I bring into my life, and it's good. It's like really different. I think that's probably how you want it to be. But this book is just kind of like, you know, your basic, you know, if you're a 20-year-old, 20 to 25, I'd recommend it. Because in that, you know, when you're in that age, you're trying to figure out who you are, what your like role is in this world. Especially because like you're living on your own, you know, it just feels weird, I guess. So this book like helps bring that out, kind of explains it really well. So let's see, this one is by, is there an author? Mark Mason. That was the first book I ever got too, so it's a really freaking good book. And maybe I'll put like little pictures of the books like right here or something. I probably won't because it's hard to edit with my hand, but it's a good book, highly recommended. Alright, now this is a book that I haven't finished yet. It's called the 10x rule, 10 times rule. Right here is a picture of the cover by Grant Cardone. And basically, this one is really good because it tells you Now, I don't know, I haven't finished it, right? But I still like it. But it's basically telling you that to become successful, you have to put in 10 times more effort than the other people around you. So if you're trying to make a business, if you put in 10 times more effort than everyone else, you're gonna be successful. It's a great idea, really good concept. The problem is, it's really hard to quantify what 10 times is. Like, how do you know? Am I really working 10 times harder than my neighbor? Am I really working 10 times harder than my coworker or whoever else it is? So it's kind of hard to quantify that one, so you really can't measure it. Like the 5-second rule is pretty straightforward. You count down, you're good. But with this, you don't really know, you know? You have no idea if you're actually 10 times harder. So what I'm taking out of this one basically is that your body's capable of a lot more than your body wants to give off. Like your primal instincts come out when you're tired or you're hungry. Like even if you're not hungry, your body's like, I could graze for a bit, go eat a pizza. Like you're not hungry, but you could eat a full pizza, you know? So this book's kind of, what am I even saying? This book's basically talking about how you can get over those things and you can push yourself to be the best. And like the summary of it is just push yourself to be the best. Even when you think you can't be, you can push yourself farther, and that little extra bit is what makes you stand out. So it's a really good book, and like if you haven't seen a trend here, I listen to a lot of motivational, inspirational books, a lot of business books, because those are the two things I'm passionate about, because I want to be able to make a difference in people's lives on my YouTube videos, and these books help me learn things that I might not be able to teach you otherwise. The business books help me because hopefully I can have my own business one day, and that would be freaking awesome. Maybe if I do, you guys can come visit and like buy something or just come say hi. You don't have to buy anything. I don't even know if I'm gonna sell anything. I guess if I have a business, I'd have to sell something. So I would definitely sell something. So okay, we're gonna go back to that. You come buy something. All right, I think that was 4 books maybe, but I'm just gonna name another one anyway. Now this one's different. It's got a very weird feel to it. Like the other books are good, but this one's really different. And it's called The Untethered Soul. There's a picture, a little picture right there. The Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer. It's a weird one. I don't know why I bought this one originally, but it's probably my favorite, or tied with the 5-second rule for my favorite book, because it taught me things that I've never even thought about or considered in my life. And like one of the lessons from this book was called The Happiness Trap, and it basically said, no, I'm sorry, I got that so wrong. One of the things this book tells me, and I don't know if I believe it, but it tells me that, you know, it's talking about energies and how your body has all these energies, positive energies, negative energies, your chakra, like things that I have no idea anything about. I've never really heard about it before in my life until this book, but it fascinated me. I thought it was cool. And one of the things it was talking about was how supposedly there's a way to get rid of all the negative energy in your body and become like happy all the time, no matter what goes on. So I really want to believe that. I want to be like, yes, you can always be happy, but at the same time, I really feel like that's not possible. So I don't know how I feel on this one, but it's definitely worth a listen if you have an open mind. If you have a pretty closed mind, I would not recommend it, because it talks about some crazy things. Like, it pulls your mind apart. I feel like when I was reading this book, the author was just like holding my brain and just like stretching it out in ways I've never moved it. So it was, if you like that, it'd be a great book for you. Probably gonna listen to it at least 1 or 2 more times to try to just get a little bit more out of it, because it's such a high level book. Like the knowledge this guy has, whether or not it's true, I don't know, but just the way he makes you think, the way he like tests your mind is really good. I mean, it talks about a lot of energy things, a lot of, you know, inspirational, motivational, emotional things like that. So it's basically all the other books kind of combined into one. I mean, everything from like relationships to improving yourself to just everything. So it's a phenomenal book. Highly recommended if you have an open mind. So guys, I know a lot of you are like basically every day asking me to play ARK. My views are down, whatever. It's not really a big deal to me, because this is addressing those people, even though I know if you're watching it now, you're not one of those people, but maybe this is more for me. The reason I'm making these videos, even with less views and still not going back to ARK, partly because of my hand, partly because I'm still kind of bored with ARK because it's a big grindy game and I don't want to waste my life playing that game. And another part of it is because I'm kind of using these videos to push myself to see what I'm capable of. Am I able to push myself making a video every night no matter how I feel and still get everything else done? Am I able to hold relationships with people? Am I able to do all this stuff? Because that's how it's going to be when I start a business one day. It's going to be like this. And so I figure if I can push myself now, get in the habit of it, get used to it, then maybe I'll be better once the time comes to actually start a business. So just a little, you know, a little something, guys, just get to scrape my brain a little bit and kind of get to feel where I'm at with that one. So anyway, guys, that's what I have for you today. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Don't forget to spread the love, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow.